Hello everyone, my name is Kid Lee, and welcome to another preview video for SWTOR 6.0 SWTOR Onslaught, coming to you from the test server here on this one, as I want to just kind of talk to you guys about gearing. For those who may not be in the loop, the gearing for the expansion has been a very, very hot topic, and with every build of the PTS, or I guess you could say just 6.0, that we've been testing, they've changed the gearing almost every single time. Now, the reason why everybody was so upset when we got build number 1 was basically because they were going with almost a pure RNG-based gearing system. And the community really pushed back, and what we have now is something that is much, much better. I don't know if it's perfect. I don't know if there's necessarily any gearing system that's perfect. But I'm going to show you a little bit of how this game is going to launch with 6.0 and sort of the changes that had happened and so forth and so on. But one of the big things that they're doing for 6.0 is they kept saying loot, loot, loot everywhere. They want to just fill your inventory up with loot. And as an example, as I was doing the testing through the different phases, they had us testing Hammer Station for the actual drops. So in phase 1, I did 5 runs of Hammer Station and got 5 items per run. So this is like actual upgrades, gear, mods, that type of stuff. Stuff that was actually beneficial towards me, that I could actually put on my character. Then they actually changed it, and with build number 2 that I'm calling it, I got 25 items with 1 run of Hammer Station. And I think at that point they're like, you know what, that's actually too much, that's a little bit too crazy. Then with build number 3, they scaled it down to somewhere between about 8 and 12 items per Hammer Station run. Now, whether or not they actually keep that for the launch, who knows. But you're actually able to take those items, and then if they're not upgrades, you can throw them into the deconstruction system, or you can sell them, or, you know, do whatever you want with them. Now, of course, we have the new currency as well, which is tech fragments, and the tech fragments is really going to be the big thing for 6.0. So let me show you a couple of things they've actually added to the fleet here. So I'm actually in the supply section on the Imperial side. They've redone these 2 sections right here, that section right there, that section over there. Looking at the vendors, first of all, here's the Kaizyken vendor. Kaizyken is only going to be available during certain times of the week, and his stock is going to rotate. What he has is going to be tech fragments and money. That's the currency you'll need to buy the random things that are off of him. Next, they've added this vendor. And this vendor has unidentified items, almost like you're playing Diablo or something like that. And you can see the currency here is just straight up tech fragments. So what you can actually say is, you know what, I need a upgraded pair of boots. So you can just go ahead and straight buy it, and you will hopefully get either something that is better, but in this case, I didn't. I got a 270. I have a 276. But it's supposed to be within your ballpark range based on your new item level. If I actually bring up the character sheet, you can actually see that they've redone this window, which is pretty cool. But you'll see that my renown rank is 311. That number is useless now, but my item rating is a 269. So it actually looked at that, and it's like, oh, 270. I'll just give you that. So according to the item rating, that is technically on par or slightly an upgrade, but it doesn't factor in that I already have 276 boots. So I would actually have to raise my item level in order to get something better. But just to kind of show you, let me buy a few more items here. It's like, here's a barrel, here's a belt, here's a bracer, earpiece. Let's go with the gloves. Now you'll actually notice here on the earpiece that it has an up arrow. So according to the system, this is actually an upgrade. Now, whether or not stat-wise it's actually an upgrade, you know, sitting here looking at it, it's like, yeah, you'll gain 46 to power and 13 to mastery, but I'm also losing endurance, and we're breaking even on the accuracy. So actually, it probably is an upgrade. Then of course you have to worry about the amplifier as well, and that's a whole nother video. I've actually already done an amplifier video if anybody wants to see it. But that kind of gives you an idea of what that vendor is. Again, completely optional. You don't have to use that vendor if you don't want. So let's go ahead and actually let me resell these items. Or actually, no, what I'll do is I'll deconstruct them instead. So let's go deconstruct. Hit that. It goes and here's the stuff you just got. And you do get tech fragments back when you are using deconstruct. So you have that option. But here's really the big stuff over here. So they've added in new vendors over here, all based on class, and they all have the different sets and the new tactical items. Now, if you don't know, the big change that they're making with 6.0 is there are now many, many different kinds of sets. Previously in SWTOR, if you were a sniper or an arsenal merc or whatever, you would basically have that one set you would chase, and then you would just keep upgrading, getting better versions of that one set. That is now changing, and there are many, many different kinds of sets with many different set bonuses. Some 2, some 4, some 6. So you could actually go with a 4-piece set, go with that set bonus, and then change it over and grab another 2-piece set. Or you can just go a 6 and do it that way, and, you know, kind of mix and match a little bit depending on what you may or may not want to do. But you can see here the currency is all tech fragments and money. They are a mil a pop. All of them. And then you can see the tech fragments there as well. So I think what people are going to be doing is they're really going to be looking over this list, looking over all the sets to figure out exactly what they want to do. Different sets for PvE, different sets for PvP, crafting sets, generic sets, and then of course you've got the tac items as well. I think once people latch on to a certain tac item, I think they're probably going to stay with it, but definitely using different tac items for PvE versus PvP, and then maybe even if you're doing solo leveling or something along those lines. So that's kind of the way that the progression is going to work right now. And going back to the earlier comment I had before about running Hammer Station and getting drops, that's going to remain within the flashpoints, within PvP, and of course operations getting the drops. So you can go basically just count on the drops happening, and then you can actually get your set items from these vendors. And of course there's going to be other stuff that drops in the higher end stuff as well, like operations. But yeah, they basically didn't have these vendors before, and so they went ahead and they added these because people thought it was just going to be too much work, too much randomness, too much RNG to actually get the sets that people want. And so they're like, all right, we're just going to, you know, set up these vendors and put them on here, and then people can, you know, look and pick and choose and all that fun stuff. And of course you have the amp system as well, and that is going to be a pretty cool system. I'm a pretty big fan of that system. I just wish that the actual re-rolling on this system was a little bit better, but I talked about that in a different video. So if you want to check out my amp video, make sure you do that as well. But yeah, for those who were just unfamiliar with what was happening in 6.0 regarding the gearing, I wanted to just kind of put out this quick little video, just kind of showing you a few things and talking about it and kind of going through the different phases of the PTS that they actually went through. So it's very, very interesting stuff. Now, of course, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this. So please leave a comment down below this video. And a couple of housekeeping things here real quick. I want to remind everybody that I do indeed have a community Discord up and running. So the link is down below this video. Feel free to join us on Discord to talk about SWTOR and other games and, you know, whatever nonsense we talk about. And also, number 2 is a quick reminder that I do stream on Twitch almost every weeknight and on the weekends. So check out twitch.tv/KidLee for even more SWTOR and other gaming action. But yep, that'll go ahead and do it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. Everybody keep playing, have fun, and we'll see you next time.